Just before Mr. Trump arrived in Vietnam, I talked to CBN Asia reporters Mengfei and Lucille Talusan, who are in Da Nang. Lucille and Mengfei, thank you so much for joining us from Da Nang, Vietnam. And Lucille, we'll start with you. You were last in Vietnam 8 years ago, so what's different now, Lucille? How has it changed?
Oh, it's a big change, especially on the roads. Before, 8 years ago, it was like crossing a sea of motorcycles, because people rode on bikes and motorcycles and rickshaws, and you can barely see a car on the street. But now the streets are congested with cars, and, sometimes there's heavy traffic and a lot of buildings and a lot of construction going on. So Vietnam has really progressed, in the past 8 years.
And Mengfei, I know this was your first trip to Vietnam, so what has impressed you the most about the country?
This is really the prime time to visit Vietnam. So many exciting things happening around the nation. What really impressed me the most is the modernity and the upscale, luxurious lifestyle that you can see through the different generations, especially among the millennials, because the country is developing so fast that through the millennials' lifestyle that we can see that car ownership has become so prevalent. And not only they're owning cars, and also many of them basically their businesses jump into car industries and start selling cars overseas.
And it is exciting to see how the church is growing in Vietnam and bringing salt and light to the communist society. And Lucille, I know you did a report on that, so we're going to take a look at that right now.
Thousands of Christians from more than 50 denominations came to the 500th year anniversary celebration of the Protestant Reformation that was recently held in Ho Chi Minh City. Church leader Pastor Daniel Pham said the gathering was very successful as it displayed unity among the different churches. It was also a testament of the growing number of Vietnamese who are more open to the gospel.
The community, they see that when people came to Christ, their lives changing. And another thing that the church become more involved with the community.
And Christian businesses are now more involved in the church, like this coffee shop, Cafe Fresco, that is owned by a successful Christian Vietnamese businessman. Its manager, George Pho, shares how the business grew after the owner dedicated it to the work of God. The business started with 5 coffee carts selling coffee by the roadside.
When it became famous, the owner decided to build a coffee shop so more people can enjoy our coffee. But he also made a commitment to give all the net profit of the business for the advancement of God's kingdom. We opened another branch, and God continues to bless not only the business, but our lives as well.
Having this kind of commitment to the gospel was the challenge made by one of the key Vietnamese leaders on the 500th year Reformation anniversary. Dr. Duc Nguyen dedicated his life to promoting unity among churches around the world. He said it was important for Christians to love one another so people will easily believe the gospel. His message made a much greater impact when 2 days after the event, he suddenly died of a heart attack.
I'm so happy because that's my dream, to see the church have unity and people command. I want to follow your life.
As for President Trump's visit, Pastor Pham said he'd like to see a lasting impact made on more than just the Vietnamese church.
We hope that President Trump can pray for us and by his influence can help not Vietnamese only, but people around the world have freedom to worship God.
And Lucille, what is President Trump hoping to accomplish in Vietnam? What are the Vietnamese wanting from him?
President Trump will deliver a speech at the APEC summit, and this is in support of a free and open trade in the Indo-Pacific. And he's pushing for a fairer trade, which is also reciprocal for all the nations, all the countries, especially for the United States. So that is with regards to the trade. And as you've seen in the report, the Christian community here are also, they think highly of President Trump, and they pray that his visit here will help them also. It will influence the government to somehow be more tolerant, and to give them more freedom in the way that they can worship God. And so those are the things that Vietnamese would be hoping that the Trump visit would accomplish.
And after Vietnam, President Trump heads to the Philippines. Lucille, how do you
Yes.
think he's going to get along with your President Duterte, and what will they discuss?
I really believe that they have a warm relationship compared to, with the Obama administration. And a phone call in May, President Trump even praised President Duterte on doing an unbelievable job on the way that he's solving the drug problem in the Philippines. And so that is one of the issues that they're going to talk about, is the war against drug addiction. And of course, regional security. They will talk about the South Sea issue, on the dispute of the territorial seas, and terrorism. As we know, the Marawi war has just been ended, and these are the things that are very important at this time between the two countries.
Okay, we're looking forward to more reports. Mengfei Lee and Lucille Talusan, thank you both for joining us from Vietnam.